Somebody got technical.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be Anthony Mason. I think he just stayed after until he got the attention of Daryl Garrison.
That's one of those things where you give a guy enough rope and he ends up hanging himself, and that's what Mason did. Initially, Daryl Garrison went away from it, but Anthony Mason kept it up.
And he walked away from Daryl, but obviously his voice reached the eardrums of the supervisor of officials for the NBA as Dennis Scott converts the technical. 78-72. Biggest lead of the ball game now for Orlando.
Gary, this is a big possession right now. If they score, it pushes it to an 8-point game, and you don't want to get too much room here now because New York's not a great team coming back if they don't score a lot of points. So you don't want them to push it up to 8 or 10.
And Hardaway backing in on Greg Anthony. He's got the height advantage, but make that Charles Smith comes down to the rebound, and that's 8 rebounds for Smith. Greg Anthony at the other end. Rebound by Mason. Mason gets Tree Rollins up in the air, but can't put it away. And with 52 seconds left in the quarter, they'll reset it.
Tree's got them long arms. You pump fake him, he still blocks the shot.
He's 7'1".
He's so old, he got a few of mine in mine.
I'm going to tell him you said that. Here is Smith now to fall away. And a missed shot pulled down by Tree Rollins.
Oh, Tree Rollins loves it. He's getting double per diem, assistant coach and player now.
Is that the way it works? I didn't know that. Well, he's the third-time all-leading time shot blocker. He came in with 2,470 blocks prior to being activated this year. Oh, Hardaway that time tried to step around Davis. Off it comes quickly to Anthony. Anthony trying to finish and does.
Oh, boy. Big turn there, Gary. That's a 4-point swing.
And Greg Anthony has had the problem of not being able to finish well, but he sure did there. 78-74. Magic by 4. Dennis Scott gets Hubert Davis on him and still hits it.
Dennis Scott heated up here in the second half. He had a tough shooting first half, 1 for 6.
Yeah, he had 2 points, now has 8 as we come to the end of this third quarter. And the Magic with an 80-74 lead. And look at Nick Anderson, 6 of 10 from three-point land, 28 points for the quarter-fighting Illini.
Sonoma. We've packed everything we know into this one. Sonoma from GMC Truck.
Presenting a remarkable breakthrough in childhood development.
Honey, look at this. It's Dutch Boy's Top Kids Room Paint. Kids Room Paint is extra durable, extra scrubbable.
Oh, Drew has started writing.
Kids Room Paint, only from Dutch Boy.
To never say never.
For 75 years, we've never missed a practice. That's why Champion is proud to have earned the right to make the uniforms for the NBA. Until now, only one species commanded the water with such speed, agility, and style. The 1994 line of Sea-Doo watercraft. So advanced, they're evolutionary.
No two people are exactly alike.
Hi.
While Bob likes the high gloss shine of original Armor All Protectant, Fred prefers new low gloss Armor All with the rich, deep finish.
I gotta be me.
Either way, it's your choice. Only from Armor All.
Good third quarter for Orlando as Anderson had 15 of the Magic's 29 points. He is 6 of 10 from three-point land, and he had not been shooting well from Trey Land prior to tonight.
8 for 29 in his last 5 games, so you stay with it. 6 for 10 tonight. How about scoring by quarters? 13 in the first, none in the second, 15 in the third. So when he's hot, they've gone to him, and he's done a wonderful job.
Don't you think one of the keys has been the spacing? They've really kept people spaced well, and it's been hard to get out on them.
Gary, if you space the floor, you make New York cover so much territory, they can't push and hold you like they'd like to do. Now, going into this fourth quarter, I mean, I said going into the game, if Orlando scores 100 points, I think they'll win this ball game tonight. New York needs a tremendous defensive fourth period.
And it comes now to Patrick Ewing. Both he and Shaq return as we start this fourth quarter from Madison Square Garden. Smith ducks in, runs into traffic, and Dennis Scott comes out with it. Dennis Scott, who started the game 1 of 6, trying to heat up a little bit as Ewing comes down with a rebound.
He doesn't look like he's getting any lift on his shot. His shot does not look smooth as well.
Yeah, it's really not any arc at all, does it? As that one will go out of bounds, it'll go back now to Orlando.
That was not a shot that Hubert Davis would have wanted to take in that situation. You got to go into Patrick Ewing and get him going back in the game. Inside out, inside out. You'll get that shot in your half-court offense.
Scott Skiles here starting this fourth quarter at point guard as Penny Hardaway getting a breather. Then it comes to Scott. Scott wheeling inside on Hubert Davis. Pretty good positioning defense that time by Davis. Magic trying to win their 4th game in a row. Out it comes now to Mason. Mason ducks in. Nice spin move. Rejected by Shaq. Shaquille with 211 blocks coming into this game, which is 6th in the NBA.
You know, it looks like he's wide open right there. No one's there. Yep, here comes Shaq.
Ooh. He covers some ground in a hurry, doesn't he? There's Ewing now. Both he and Shaq playing with 3 fouls. Good defense that time by Shaquille. Here comes Scott Skiles. To the cutting, dashing Nick Anderson. I'll tell you, Anderson has looked as good as I've seen him play in a long time.
He's such a potent weapon for these guys. Again, I can't tell you enough, Gary, when you got it going, stay with the guy. Give him a look every time down the floor.
30 points now for Nick Anderson. Again, his high for the season is 35. Here is Davis giving it off to Smith, and Smith able to convert it. And again, Charles Smith looks as active and aggressive as I've seen him in a while.
That was all created by the penetration by Hubert Davis, bringing the defense right to him.
10 points now for Smith.
We're really going to a post-up situation with Dennis Scott.
Scott backing in on Hubert Davis. They bounce off of each other. And Dennis Scott, you forget, he's 6'8".
Yes, he is. He's got that big, wide body, and he'll bump you with that tail and knock you on your heels, and then he goes up and plays an offensive foul.
Now is going to get the offensive foul as Charles Smith knocks him backwards. And Smith committing the foul, and it will be his 2nd. As now Rondo Blackman will check into the ball game for the Knicks. Stoyak seeing a lot of playing time here as we start the fourth quarter. We're glad to have him back. He's been a fierce competitor through the years. Coming over after 1 year with the Utah Jazz as unrestricted free agent. Look at Scott backing in on Blackman this time. Blackman trying to stay with him. He's looking hard for the shot, and he pulls it off.
That was not intended to be banked. He saw Ewing coming over, and he kissed that off the glass, and he'll talk about it later. But that's after the fact.
Yeah, he called that one all the way.
Yeah,
Dennis Scott with 12 points, and Orlando now with their biggest lead of the ball game. They lead it by 10, 86-76, and Pat Riley grimacing. He knew this was a crunch game. His team came out, played with that defensive disposition, but all of a sudden Orlando started to stick to threes, and that's been a big difference.
They hit those 3 straight threes for 9 points after they got down by 8 that changed the whole complexion of this game. Nick Anderson has really done a good job, and Dennis Scott posting the last 2 possessions. Normally it's Shaquille, this time it's Dennis Scott, and you're going to see Patrick Ewing come over at the last moment and watch him raise the shot up over the top of Ewing. And again, after the fact, it was a nice job off the glass. But here comes Ewing. You see it right there. And the ball goes in, and it's a 10-point lead. So I still think you got to go through Ewing here. Problem is, when you look out on the floor right now, Mason is going to hit the spot-up shot for you. They're going to have to get either Blackman or Charles Smith scoring. Greg Anthony's not going to hit the outside shot for you because he's running away from it right now.
Orlando's hit 3 of 5 here in this fourth quarter as it comes into Ewing. And you said they want to go through it, but he's got to catch it first. So they lose it there, the turnover. And against New York now, they have 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. And that has added to their woes here. A 10-point lead now for the Magic.
And they're doing this with Anthony Hardaway getting a nice rest right now.
Here's Scott. Scott, who really wants to take it inside right now. Out to Anderson. Bombs away. And this time, Stoyak tries to keep it alive.
That ball was in and out. I thought he had his 7th of the night.
Charles Oakley getting ready to come into the Knicks lineup with the first opportunity. 8:55 left in the ball game. Anthony will pop from outside.
He's got to take that shot because they're playing him so soft on the perimeter.
How long do you keep Penny Hardaway out of here? Pat Skiles now running the team.
I get it down to 6, and I bring him back. You're probably going to have to give Nick Anderson a rest, so he'll probably come in for Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott.
And the Shaq, tough shot. It just shows you how strong he is.
He never left the floor. He started to jump. Patrick was like pushed up against him, and he just sort of finger rolled that ball into the basket. I don't know how that ball went in.
And you don't realize how strong Ewing is. Shaquille now with 17 points. His first points, however, this half. And it comes, and he blocked that one. Ewing tried to put it away, and Shaq was there. The breakout to Anderson, and Anderson's fouled. And Nick Anderson now with 32 points in the ball game.
Boy, I tell you, Shaquille has done a wonderful job defensively. He got caught on a switch, and Dennis Scott was playing Patrick Ewing, and Shaquille reads it, and he goes over and blocks the shot up high. And then Dennis Scott in the middle on the fast break does a nice job, does not pick up his dribble, so the defense commits to him. And when he does, he finds, again, Nick Anderson hanging, makes a tough acrobatic shot.
This is a chance for a three-point play as Oakley just sends bodies flying, comes down the rebound. What does Bill Russell used to say? You block a lot of shots on the way up. That's what he did on that play. Shaquille. And so Blackman now makes it a 90-80 game, a 10-point lead for the Magic, and Anderson forcing the issue at the other end, and Mason with a foul.
The cross-matching is killing New York tonight, and what I mean by that is Nick Anderson on one end of the floor is playing against one guy. On the other end of the floor, Mason's trying to get over to him. He can't get there. He's getting out on the wing, and he's getting to the basket. They're going to have to make an adjustment on this. Pat Riley's going to have to decide. Maybe we might have to stay with Nick Anderson and not try to cross-match and transition. It's causing him a lot of problems. 33
points for Anderson. He's 13 of 21 from the field. Now 1 of 2 from the free throw line. As you see, Charlotte still alive, defeating Miami. That's the team that ended the Knicks' 15-game winning streak. Anderson closing in on his high for the year. He's now with 34, 92-80. Well, I tell you, this is making a statement here tonight, the way Orlando's playing. They are in the playoffs for the first time in the existence of their franchise. Right now, the 4th position in the East has Blackman from the corner. Blackman now has hit 2 shots in a row.
They're getting caught up on that high side of that screen, and the guy who's being screened is going right to the corner and fading, and they can't get back there quickly enough with him.
Anderson backing in on Mason, the foul away. He forced that one. Good defense by Anthony Mason. A 10-point lead now for Orlando. 7:14 left in the game. The crowd sensing now the Knicks are going to make a move. Blackman going for 3 in a row.
I might get a timeout here just to calm this crowd down. You don't want to let New York put a run together.
8 points now for Orlando Blackman, who's been one of the fine shooters for many, many years. Timeout, and you anticipated that one. Orlando Blackman has come in, and in this 4th quarter hit 3 jumpers.
Nice ball fake. Well, we see so much of this through Orlando Blackman's career. The great rotation, a beautiful pull-up shot, and New York now within 8 with 6:57 remaining.
One of our favorite movies, Blood Alley, Wednesday at 8 Eastern on TNT.
Introducing the new 1995 Lexus Coupe. After all, you only go around once.
I'm writing because I have a very close friend who's being verbally abused by her parents. They tell her she's a failure, no good, and stupid. I told her to talk to the school counselor, but she's afraid her parents will find out and make things worse for her. She has thought about suicide many times, but someone was always there to convince her otherwise. I just worry that one day there won't be anyone there.
Sorry.
Dutch Boy paint is now on sale. Ooh,
Dutch Boy paint is now on sale at Sears. Now you can save $3 on Dutch Boy Dirt Fighter flat and semi-gloss paints at Sears.
Here's tonight's Dutch Boy in the paint, and the Knicks are dominating the boards.
Well, you look at that and you say Knicks plus 17 on the boards. How much are they winning by? Well, they're losing by 8 because of the great three-point shooting by Orlando. And it's been Orlando Blackman over the last couple minutes that's given New York some new life. Gary, this is what I'm talking about, playing the screen. Patrick Ewing is going to move his screen up high. And we stop it right there. See, Nick Anderson is trying to go over the high side of the screen. Blackman reads it, and he fades to the corner, and no one can get to him. So that's good usage of the screen, and that's the way to read it. The guy trails you, you curl it, he comes over the high side, you fade to the corner.
Blackman looks reborn, doesn't he? The way he's shooting the ball like he used to shoot for the Dallas Mavericks.
If the Knicks are going to win this game, they're going to win it on defense.
And there is Penny Hardaway with Blackman in his face, and Penny Hardaway coming into the ball game using the glass, builds it back to a 10-point lead.
Well, he's got fresh legs. He's been sitting down for about 6.5 minutes, so now Nick Anderson gets a rest. He'll probably come back in for Dennis Scott in a moment.
Penny Hardaway with 19 points in the ball game. Ewing wants it inside, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Little jump hook and rebound, Oakley. Oakley, the putback doesn't go. That's 18 rebounds for Oakley. He's got another one, and just sheer tenacity gets it to go.
Well, Larry Kostowiak's doing everything he can. Charles Oakley is a stud on those offensive boards. The guy does not jump. He just wants it. And he goes and he's got terrific hands.
16 points, 19 rebounds now for Oak. 94-86 Orlando inside 6 minutes. Jump hook the other end. And you talk about looking down at a basket.
See, you can't double team him because you got all the three-point shooters now. So now he's playing one-on-one. That's why you got to be able to make shots.
Shaq with 19 points in the ball game. Then it goes to Ewing. Out it comes to Blackman, and we're going to have an illegal defense now.
It's going to be on Dennis Scott. He got illegal. He was playing Charles Oakley. Got over on the strong side of the floor and was double teaming before Patrick Ewing had the ball.
So the warning. By the way, we want to mention again, John Starks, of course, not playing in this ball game, but the rehab ahead of schedule. They're hoping that the All-Star, going to his first All-Star game this year, will be ready by playoff time. He's in that lavender or purple coat, sitting at the end of the Knicks bench as Ewing didn't get anything there, and Penny Hardaway at the rebound. That is now 9 rebounds for Hardaway.
Well, take your time. If you imagine, you go through Shaquille. If they get the double team, you pump it out. If not, you go in strong like that and you go one-on-one. He's made 2 unbelievable shots tonight.
I would say the degree of difficulty is up there, wouldn't you? 98-86, and the Knicks have called timeout. 5:17 to go in the 4th. Orlando, this young team that they are, the great young nucleus, stepping forward.
Suppose would create a car with an interior so well thought out. It gives you the confidence to perform maneuvers like this, even while you perform maneuvers like this. The Lexus GS.
Bread, baked fresh daily. Freshly sliced vegetables. Hearty meats and cheeses.
Doesn't a Cousins sub sound good right now? Cousins is on Claremont Avenue in Putnam Heights. Cousins, better bread, better subs.
Mineral saturated hydrofluid. Observe its concomitants. This cylindrical receptacle is maculated with dehydrated mineral residue, the silica deposits, terminally devitalizing to your habitational aquifers. And ultimately, this corrupt fluid will desecrate your follicles and epidermis, requiring lavish applications of conditioning agents. There's only one solution. Hey, Culligan man!
Now you can rent a Culligan for $1 a week. It's an affordable way to improve your water. Just $1 a week from your Culligan Water Store.
Soft water from Culligan, the perfect solution.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. The Knicks in danger of falling into a tie with Atlanta for the top spot overall in the Eastern Conference if they can't make up this deficit against the Magic. Meantime, things have tightened up at the bottom of the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte beat Miami tonight and now is only 3 games on the loss side behind the Heat, who fall from number 6 to number 8. The Heat almost with a steal here. trailing by 2, but Muggsy takes it back for Charlotte, and here comes the bucket that ices this thing for the Charlotte Hornets. Kenny Gaddison, baseline drive and a strong jam, and the Hornets win this one 99-97, 3 games back in the loss column, and 6 of their last 8 games are against teams with losing records. Let's go back to Madison Square Garden.
All right, EJ, thank you very much. We're going to document a new record, a couple of new records set here tonight. All-time Garden records by the Magic. We get an opportunity, we'll document it as we come back. 5:10 left in the ball game. Patrick Ewing leaves it short. Rebound is cleared now by Dennis Scott.
Patrick just does not have his legs. They've done a nice job pushing him away from the block. And every shot is a fadeaway right now, not getting to the free throw line. Gary, if you're Orlando, a couple stats jump out at you. When you shoot 50% or better, they are 26-5, and when you score 100-plus points, they're 38-12, where they're shooting 50% tonight, and they're sitting on 98 points right now with 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining.
You're talking about Ewing leaving it short. He is 6 of 22 shooting, and that's not what he had in mind. The records that have been broken here tonight, the Magic have broken the all-time Garden records for three-pointers made. They have 10, and also attempts, 23. The old record for makes was 8. The attempts, 18 times, 4 different times. So they come in here and have thrived on the threes, and I think it's interesting because they're coming off of a game where they hit 12 of 22 against the Heat on Saturday night. So they're on a roll right now.
That's the importance, again, of being able to have guys on the floor that can shoot the basketball with a low post player.
4:47 left in this ball game, 98-86. Ewing's going to bring it up. Got to be careful. Dennis Scott got a piece of it. It'll be 16 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, they've only got 2 seconds to get it across, so they've got to throw the ball in the front court. If Orlando will deny, they might be able to force a backcourt violation here.
Coming from 24 to 16 seconds on the shot clock, so that does give them 2, if your math is correct, if they get it across anywhere.
Showing a little trap here, just trying to chase them out of their offense.
Smith from the corner, Ewing with another rebound.
And New York just can't get an outside jump shot to fall right now.
17 rebounds for Patrick Ewing. 17 seconds on the shot clock. It was Hardaway going for the steal, but Ewing with a good focus cuts it to 10. Ewing now with a total of 19 points to go with those 17 rebounds.
Gary, I really believe the injuries have caught up with New York through that stretch. They were playing so well, but they're down on bodies right now. It's tough for them now to pick up their defense.
Penny Hardaway kicks it out. It's a lot of effort, a lot of energy after playing yesterday, and that's a tough one-hander. Scott Skiles thought he was fouled, but what a nice touch on that one. 100 points now for the Magic.
That's one of those course shots you knock out your best friend with when you're in your backyard.
Here's Ewing backing in on Shaquille. So again, the Knicks have given up 100 points. And for a while, they were holding teams to 87 points a game in that 15-game winning streak. And that's going to be the 4th foul on Shaquille O'Neal. 3rd team foul against the Magic. 3:44 left in the game. As the Magic trying to win their 2nd game this year against the Knicks. And their 4th in a row this year. A 3 by Derek Harper.
Boy, they needed that one.
Yes, they did. Harper with 10 points.
Under 9 now. They still got a chance. 3:30. They got to dig in defensively.
Penny Hardaway all the way in. Charles Smith with a rebound.
Watch Hubert Davis for 3.
Davis from outside. Not there. Boy, that would have brought the roof down. This crowd was ready to roar their approval there. That pass is deflected. I think it was Dennis Scott that had a hand on it. Out it comes to Skiles.
Pull it out and use some clock. Pull it out and use some clock. You got the lead. You got the possession.
Ewing giving chase from the side for Stoyak. Not there. And Oakley over the back. We're going to have a jump ball as he and Hardaway go down.
I think you got to be careful for Orlando right now. You're a young team. Hardaway got excited the last possession down and took a tough shot. The three-pointer would have cut it to a 6-point game. You got the ball. Make New York come out and chase you. They might give you an easy one.
2:57 left in the ball game. When the opponents score under 100, the Knicks are 46-11. Look what happens when they get to the century mark.
Well, it's interesting because they're so different, these two teams. New York has only won 6 games when their opponents have scored 100. Orlando has only won 7 when they haven't scored 100. So that 100-point barometer different for 2 different reasons for these teams.
Hardaway gave Oakley a pretty good time on that jump, didn't he? He got up on it. 9-point lead now for the Magic. 2:49 left in the game.
He faded in the corner once again.
And Blackman with the three. After hitting 3 straight twos, he gets a 3. He has 11 in the night.
Gary, you got to go on the screen. You got to stay on Blackman's hip pocket. You can't let him fade to the corner like that.
So the Knicks have climbed within 6. You can hear the roar in the background. They want a defensive stop here.
Look who they're going to.
4 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2. Scott got it as the shot clock expired.
Why not? All night it's been the 3. Why not now?
Wow. And they continue to build their Garden record. 11 threes out of 24 attempts. 103-94. Harper trying to answer the 3, and he does.
Gary, this is a sensational game. I tell you, I'm hoping and praying that our playoffs are going to be like this, because it will be so much fun.
We have 19 threes between the two that have been hit tonight.
And a well-played game. New York has played a very good ball game. It's not anything that they've played subpar. Orlando's just been a little bit better right now.
And almost thrown away. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson slicing to the hole. Leaves it short, and we're going to have a traveling call as he came back down with it.
He caught his own air ball.
That is the first turnover in this quarter by the Magic. And the Knicks call timeout. 103-97. We'll be back.
Classic television. Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Zipper. Who played him? Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French. I liked him. He's attractive.
Pete, Link, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic. Introducing the new 1995 Lexus Coupe. After all, you only go around once.
Two years ago, I blew out my Achilles. I said I'd be back. Everyone else said I was finished. All I gotta say is, step under this. And we'll see who's finished.
Only the love can make you a player. You got the love?
The Magic with a 103-97 lead. We're going to go back to this buzzer beater by Dennis Scott.
Well, just listen as the shot clock is involved here. Watch it in the air and listen. Right as it goes in, you see the horn sound.
You were telling me it reminded you of Scotty Thurman's shot in Arkansas with that 3 against Duke.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Here's the reset. Magic with 3 full timeouts. The Knicks with 2. Both have their 20, and both have a foul to give with 1:33 left in the ball game. 103-97. The Magic with the lead.
Look for Blackman coming off the screen.
Blackman's had the hot hand. He's hit 4 field goals in this quarter. Going for another 3. And Oakley had position, and Ewing gets it, and he's fouled. You got to give Oakley a lot of credit. He kept that thing alive.
Yes, he did. And then Ewing with the nice finish. Look at Oakley underneath the basket. Nick Anderson trying his best. Oakley didn't even jump. Actually, Hardaway hit that ball over to Ewing. Opportunity here to cut it to 3, and there's still 3 possessions left in this game.
And also of significance, Shaquille O'Neal, his 5th foul in the ball game. Ewing now with 22 points and 18 rebounds. Timeout now. 20-second timeout. Patrick Ewing has missed only one free throw. Now they're going to take a full. We have a full timeout with 1:20 left. 3-point lead for the Magic.
One of our favorite movies, Blood Alley, Wednesday at 8 Eastern on TNT.
You just spray it on.
You just spray it on.
New Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner from Armor All. Just spray it on, and then just spray it off.
That's it? That's it.
Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner.
History teaches primordial perspiration shouldn't mess with one's style. Thus, new Right Guard Pure Power Clear Gel. It's clear without flaky white stuff. New Right Guard Clear Gel. Anything less would be uncivilized.
How many ways to make a collect call do you need? It's too complicated. Time for a collect call recall. Forget about
1-800-OPERATOR.
or
1-800-COLLECT.
AT&T has a better way. All you need is 1-800-CALL-ATT. Dial it every time you make a collect call. It's new, it's simple. 1-800-CALL-ATT. One number. The lowest price for a collect call. Only from AT&T.
Your true voice.
The Magic by 3, 103-100. Patrick Ewing with that big play just a moment ago. As you look, both teams now with 2 full timeouts remaining. A 20-second. Orlando has no fouls to give. The Knicks have 1.
What an unbelievable lift if New York could steal this game when it looked like it was going to be completely out of their reach. If they win this game, it will be an effort win because they have had to fight and scratch for everything because Orlando has been sensational tonight. Big possession for this young team. If you go through Shaquille O'Neal, remember now, Shaquille not a good free throw shooter. That could come into play here in the last minute 20.
But he's also playing with 5 fouls. At the 4-minute mark, Orlando led this game by 12. Now a 12-3 run by the Knicks to pull within 3. Harper and Hardaway. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Shot with Hubert Davis on it. Look at Shaq and Ewing dancing around each other. Shot by Shaquille. That's a big shot.
Yeah, they used the clock. That was beautiful execution. That was great.
Shaquille now with 23 points. 5-point lead for the Magic. Inside a minute to go.
Use a lot of time.
Yep, 10 seconds on the shot clock. They need to get one away here with 6. Hubert with a 3. And Shaquille tries to tip it out. Look at the hustle by Shaquille.
Pull it out. Pull it out.
Penny's going to take it to the hole, and he's fouled by Davis.
That's, you know, I know what Penny's thinking. Aggressive play. Gary, you pull it out. Your time is your ally right now because New York's going to have to take a foul anyway. And you take it out, you bring the ball back in, and maybe you get another foul. You don't want to take a chance of getting an offensive foul. It was an aggressive play, but still, right then, use clock if you can.
You talk about 2 big plays. How about the shot by Shaquille and then the hustle out here to come up with a loose ball?
Well, you know, this is a pride game right now. You know, Orlando has played them very well, but they've only beaten them 1 out of 4 times. And if New York wins in the first round and Orlando stays in the 4th spot and wins in the first round, these 2 teams will be second-round matchups in the playoffs.
And it'll be right here on TNT. Hardaway with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Now with 20. Timeout is called by the Knicks. 31.3 seconds left. 6-point lead for the Magic. Let's go to Atlanta. And here's EJ, Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, Gary. Let's talk about the Western Conference and the San Antonio Spurs, who have struggled recently. They've lost 3 straight and have fallen 3 games behind Houston on the loss side for the best record in the Midwest Division, number 2 seed overall. Trying to get well tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and when you got David Robinson, you got a chance. Last time against these guys, he rang them up for 50, which is the NBA season high for points. Early on, around Mike Brown, and gets the roll. At last report, Robinson had 19 points, and Sidney Lowe looking like the Admiral looked the other day when he got teed up against Houston. Alley-oop time coming up. There's the Admiral in the middle and lays it over 46-40. Willie Anderson also finding the mark tonight. He also had 19 at last report. And look at this tough jumper falling away and knocking it down. Minnesota, in the 4th period, trailing San Antonio 71-65. San Antonio's beaten them 3 out of 4, but they're going a little tough tonight as they only lead by 6 in the 4th. Now let's send you back to Madison Square Garden to Bender and Collins.
All right, Ernie, thank you. You know, the maturation of a team that grows. This could be a big growth game if the Magic hang on and win this one. Coming into Madison Square Garden, a team that knew they had to pull this one out, the Knicks, and they've beaten them back thus far with 31 seconds left in the game.
Well, if you're Brian Hill, you'd like to have a 12-point lead at that 4-minute mark, and you'd like to be able to keep it. The good part about what they were able to do, though, when New York got it to within 3, they called timeout, they set up a play, they ran it to perfection, they executed it, and Shaquille scored. That's what you've got to do in the playoffs. When teams make a push at you, you've got to be able to stop it, regroup, be able to go to your man and get the score, and they did a wonderful job with that. And then the great hustle play, as you said, on the rebound to give them an opportunity now to push this to 6.
You know what's interesting about the Magic? They've had different guys pick them up at different times here tonight. And that's a mark of a good ball club.
They've had surges. Nick Anderson's had his surge. Shaquille's had his. Dennis Scott's hit some big baskets. Anthony Hardaway's been sensational all around. And I agree with you, Gary. And it had not been for some timely shooting by Rolando Blackman here in this 4th quarter, New York would never have gotten back into this game.
Well, I tell you guys, played really well, though. Standing right top of us here is Charles Oakley. He started well, he's finished strong, and now the Knicks need to get a shot off. And Ewing will try a 3, and the rebound is cleared, and a foul instantly as Oakley reaches in and grabs Nick Anderson.
It's going to be very interesting tomorrow, the New York newspapers, because I talked to Pat Riley before the game, and I said, you know, Pat, I've been here twice now. Once was team turmoil. Now we've had a situation where you've just come off a 15-game win streak. You've lost 3 of 4, and you either go from being the NBA champions to a team that might be knocked out in the first round by the 8th seed. So there's really no in-between ground with this team. They're either on top or perceived as being a team that can be knocked out early. This is a tough situation for them.
A juggernaut or a team in panic, right? I mean, there's no in-between.
Well, they've got to get Starks back healthy. They missed Bonner tonight defensively against either a Dennis Scott or Nick Anderson when he got hot, but they've got to get their team back healthy if they hope to advance out of the East.
And Nick Anderson with a powerful game tonight. 36. That's a season high for him.
And look how many points they've given up. 108.
Yep. And we're talking about the difference between that 15-game winning streak and what's happening now is points allowed. Shaquille with the rebound. Lost it momentarily. As we come down to the last seconds, and the Magic are going to win their 4th game in a row. They now have won 6 of their last 7. Their 46th win, the most wins in the history of this young franchise. And the Knicks now have lost 4 of their last 5. They dropped to 52 and 23.